Hi everybody, I decided to record my presentation just in case we had a bad connection. So this is my curriculum problem project for Ed 717. As I did my interviews, one of the things that kind of kept coming up was lack of parental involvement. And I think we all know how important parental involvement is to the success of our students. And so I wanted to kind of dig a little deeper into that and figure out why parental involvement matters, what prevents or motivates it, and how we can encourage it. So this is a PowerPoint presentation that I designed that could be used for staff training, not just for teachers and not just for principals, but also for the staff in the school, because the research that I did showed that it's not just the teachers that affect parental involvement, but really the whole school atmosphere. So the first slide is, why does parental involvement matter? Parental involvement does affect a teacher's opinion of how the teacher views a student and whether or not the teacher feels the child is going to be academically successful or not. And of course, while that may not be fair, it's a fact. So parental involvement is going to affect a teacher's opinion. When parents are involved, students tend to do better in school, which we all know. Less likely to repeat a grade, they're less likely to drop out of school, the graduation rates are higher, and they're more likely to participate in advanced classes. When parents are involved, studies show that students are more confident that they can do the work that's being assigned. They feel like they have more control over things like their grades and their performance in school. They also believe that schoolwork is important when their parents are involved. So what prevents parents from wanting to become involved? Why are some not coming to school and helping out or coming to meetings? When they feel that a school is not educated about the culture that they come from, parents are resistant to becoming involved. Sometimes they feel uncomfortable interacting with the office staff if their cultures are different. A good bit of the research that I did address the office staff. That's something that kept coming up, and I know from experience, just in calling different schools or in walking into different schools, you really can tell a lot about the school by the front office staff. So I think it's important that everybody, not just the teachers and principals and guidance counselors, but everybody be educated on ways to involve parents. And some parents just don't know how to help their kids at home, so they don't really know what to do, so they don't feel comfortable helping their children. Of course, a lot of our parents are going to have had negative school experiences as children. Some are not academically able to help their kids at home with schoolwork. Some parents feel like the school just kind of gives lip service, I guess you could say, to parental involvement, that what they do and what they say doesn't really matter and it doesn't result in shared power. And then some schools just create an environment that is not family friendly. I don't know if any school would ever do that on purpose, but I think sometimes habits develop, and we've been doing it this way for this many years, or we're just going to keep doing it, which a lot of times is discouraging for parents. Let's see. Okay, so sometimes parents in low socioeconomic brackets, of course, they may have 2 or 3 jobs, which are going to prevent them from being able to come in for parent conferences or volunteering in their child's classroom. They may feel they, again, are not prepared academically to help their kids. And then some parents in low socioeconomic brackets have mental health issues that can prevent them from becoming involved. So what motivates parents? Why do parents decide whether they feel comfortable or not that they're going to be involved? Again, a feeling of shared power, so that when they offer suggestions, they feel like the suggestions are taken seriously, and then they not only are tried, but then the parents are given feedback. So if a child's having a problem and the parents come in for a conference and teacher and parent, or maybe principal, guidance counselor, brainstorming solutions, the parent feels like their solutions are heard, they're taken seriously, they're implemented, and then feedback's given. Parents also, of course, need to know about the effect of their involvement on their child's academic success. If a parent thinks that they have a responsibility to become involved and that their involvement is going to translate into their child's success at school, then they're more motivated to become involved. When teachers reach out to parents and ask for involvement, then parents understand and they get the message that they are wanted in the classroom. If they receive that sort of an invitation, then they may feel more comfortable. If a teacher never asks parents to be involved, then we can't just assume that all parents know that they need to be involved. We actually have to invite them to become involved. And again, if a parent feels like their culture is valued and that their culture is respected, they're more likely to become involved. And I think we all can relate to that. If we go somewhere we feel like we're not respected, we're probably not going to go back. Invitations in particular seem to be motivating for parents who usually are passive in their involvement. So there are 3 different types of invitations. The first can come from a teacher, and invitations from teachers let parents know that they are important in their child's learning and that by being there and being present at the school, they are going to positively affect their child's learning outcomes. Then another type of invitation is an invitation from the school, and that's where parents get the message that they're valuable and that they're wanted in the environment. And then an invitation from a student seems to be particularly important because then the parents know that their involvement is important to their children. If you have a parent who doesn't really care about administration, doesn't really care about the school, doesn't really care about the teacher, sometimes if you go through the child, then that might kind of reel them in a little bit and let them know, because every parent cares about their child, I hope. That may be too much of a blanket statement, but I think that most parents do, maybe just don't know how to help, but I think most parents care about their children. So how can we encourage parental involvement? Making positive contact with parents rather than waiting until there's a problem. Sending home positive notes. I know I used to do that with my kids. I would have a star student, but then I would also have a list of all my kids, and I'd just go straight down the list and send 3 positive letters home every week. I figured if I couldn't come up with something positive about every child, and I wasn't doing my job, so I just went straight down the list on that one. It wasn't merit-based, it was just, this is why I appreciate your child, and this is what they do well, and these are their strengths. And really, that made a huge difference. I had a lot of parents that would have done anything for me just because of those letters. And that includes coming to meetings. So making sure that we understand our cultures and how our kids live. Parents need to making sure parents have what they need in order to help their children with homework. I know we can't send home a complete kit with every child, but kind of feeling that out and figuring out if parents don't have paper or pencils at home, maybe helping out with some of that. At the beginning of the school year, we can offer workshops that go over the skills that are going to be taught in reading and math that year. May give some parents some confidence that they can help their children if they have a packet that teaches them how to teach their children a concept if they're confused. And sometimes, if parents are coming from a different culture, they may be involved, but it may not be the same kind of involvement that we expect as the majority culture. So just being aware that just because they're not being involved on what you would stereotypically expect doesn't mean that they're not involved at all. Of course, childcare after school events is important. Making sure that parents can schedule conferences on the weekends and the evenings, and hopefully allowing teacher comp time for that. Visiting students' homes, creating interactive homework. I read a whole study about a school that created interactive homework that the parents and children did together, and then the parents gave feedback as to how their children did on the homework. The principal, of course, is important, the principal's leadership. Principal empowering teachers and parents. Again, suggestions are taken seriously. They feel working together makes a positive difference in the school. And then also, a principal can create trust between parents and teachers, acting as a negotiator instead of taking sides during times of conflict seems to be something that really helps parental involvement. Asking parents to communicate with you as well as you communicating with parents seems to be important. So not only are teachers sending home notes, but parents are encouraged to communicate with the teacher as well, whether it's email, telephone conference, a note sent back in the agenda. And then when those communications are received, the teacher is responding quickly and respectfully. Schools need to have staff development, not just teacher development, but staff development that fosters parental involvement skills. Allowing teachers time to share with each other things that have and have not worked in terms of parental involvement, and giving them time to problem solve and collaborate helps. Helping parents develop networks within the school. So teachers and principals can encourage parent groups where they get together and they share information. And when information is shared, a lot of times parents will feel more confident in the decisions that they are being asked to make as parents in regard to their child's education. Let's see. Oh, in the entryway of schools, and anytime that there are pieces of paper with information that parents need to know, maybe taped in the front office or on the doors of the school, making sure that those papers and any information, whether it's decorations, whether it's meant for information, should be not just the majority language, but really it should be in all the languages of the school so that all parents can read the information. And anybody in the front office that's communicating with families should have consumer-friendly skills. One suggestion was that schools can create a space in the school that's just for parents so that they can meet with other parents as well as teachers. You know, the teachers can come to the parents sometimes rather than the parents going to the classroom. So you could have parent volunteers that interact with the new parents in the school and let them know sort of how the school runs. You know, if you want to go to lunch with your child, what do you need to do? If you need to pick up a child early, what do you need to do? And that sort of thing. Providing translations for parents who don't speak English or whatever the majority language of the school is. And also just to provide a familiar face during school events. If you know you're going to see somebody that you know, you may feel more comfortable going to an event. You can also have a folder of ideas on parental involvement that teachers and principals can refer to. And then, of course, encouraging all parents and advertising to all parents what the school has in terms of parent groups and what they offer. And then here are the references. Then I also created a pamphlet that can go home with kids. This would be the front of the pamphlet, just to getting involved. This is why parents should get involved. This is how they can get involved at home. And this is how parents can get involved at school. Just some basic information about what parents can do. And of course, this is something that would need to be translated into whatever languages are in the school as well. And then this would be just a little message to the parents on the back of the pamphlet, letting them know that you do want their involvement and that they're an important part of the team at school. You know, the school is looking for parent input, and also that the school is there to serve the parent and to help them out with whatever they can help with. So that's everything. So hopefully we're connected well enough where we can do some questions and answers.